Good evening, BookTube. This is the third video I have filmed today. Today is still September the 10th, 2019. I'm down the lower level because the lower level is where the books are. You've seen the videos of the lower level. This is where I'm writing right now in my diary. So you can see the lower level. See, this is the lower level. I've shown you guys the lower level before. So, but I'm down here because my wife, her book club is meeting tonight, and I have been banished down here into my books. So I thought, hey, since I'm in the mood to talk and I'm surrounded by books, and that's what BookTube is about. YouTube is showing you my book world, and I just thought I'd show you the books I have just been looking at. I sit here sometimes writing in my diary and looking at the books surrounded me in this area, and I just thought I'd show you kind of books that I collect. As I have mentioned over the years of making BookTube, I am a book collector. I don't read everything that I get at thrift stores and used bookstores. I don't really go to used bookstores. I say at least 80% of my books that are not Christian have been bought at thrift stores. And you know, I do buy some used books from Amazon, and I do get books from the Book Nook, the library used bookstore, and I do go to used book sales. But I go to thrift stores every week, and sometimes I don't find that much, and sometimes I do. But I just thought I'd just show you the books that I was looking at before I started making this video. And first, the last book I looked at was Stephen Dixon, Frog. I got this at a Salvation Army thrift store, and when I read it, I really liked it. I didn't read the whole thing. I think I read 311 pages out of it. It was published in 1991, but when I read this, I really enjoyed the writing. So then I started buying his books, and then I bought Stephen Dixon. This is called a novel called One. This was published by McSweeney's Books, and I don't think I read it. I bought it from their online bookstore. And then I bought used Meyer, a novel by Stephen Dixon. I started just collecting his writings because they all looked really interesting and I wanted to get into them. This is Meyer by Stephen Dixon. And then I bought a novel, His Wife Leaves Him, by Stephen Dixon. This was by a Fantagraphics Books, so it's like self-publishing by Stephen Dixon. And then I bought this, The Stories of Stephen Dixon, which comes out of Montgomery County Library, 1994. So it was withdrawn from a library. So I started collecting him, reading his short stories, reading his novels, and I haven't got into him in a while, but that was I looking at when I came down here. And then I looked at this book while I was down here. It's called The Saddest Pleasure by Mortis Thompson. It says here, Mortis Thompson was born in America in 1915. He served as a bombardier in the 8th Air Force during the World War II and at the age of 48 became one of the early Peace Corps volunteers in Ecuador. After leaving the Peace Corps, he stayed in Ecuador to become a farmer on the Ismailis River. He died in Guayaquil in September 1991. It's called The Saddest Pleasure, a journey on two rivers, travel book as memoir, memoir as a novel, and novel as a polemic. So I was looking at that. And then I was looking at T.S. Eliot, The Wasteland, and Other Poems. As I mentioned, when I left California back in '78, I had a box, maybe a small little box of books. This I bought when I was in high school back in 1978, 79. I got this at a bookstore in Berkeley, California. T.S. Eliot, The Wasteland, and Other Poems. You know, I'm always using The Wasteland in my online diary, and so I think of that. T.S. Eliot, The Wasteland, and Other Poems. I was reading in here the section here called Ash Wednesday, written in 1930. I was reading the first couple of stanzas. Because I do not hope to turn again, because I do not hope to turn, desiring this man's gift and that man's scope. I no longer strive towards such things. Why should the aged eagle stretch its wings? Why should I mourn the vanquished power of the usual rain? Because I do not hope to know again the infirm glory of the positive hour. Because I do not think, because I do not know, because I know I shall not know the one invariable transitory power, because I cannot drink there where trees flower and springs flow, for there is nothing again. So I was reading that. The reason why I was reading this is I was reading this novel, The Archivist by Martha Cooley. It says here in the back, Matthias is a librarian, a man of orderly ways. Matthias is a librarian, a man of orderly ways, responsible for safeguarding a sealed cache of T.S. Eliot's letters. Roberta is a young poet with an unabashed and oddly intense interest in the letters. What begins as a battle of wills soon evolves into an unlikely friendship, a relationship that not only settles Matthias's solitary life, but forces him to confront long-buried memories of his wife, her mental breakdown, and the dissolution of their marriage. Propelled by startling truths hidden and revealed, this extraordinary novel draws richly upon the poems of T.S. Eliot and the intellectual and social climate of the post-war New York City as it explores the redemptive power of art and the challenge of forging a moral and meaningful life in the modern world. So I was looking at that. And then I was reading Ducks, Newburyport by Lucy Ellman. And then I was looking at this book, The Written World, The Power of Stories That Shape People, History, and Civilization by Martin Pulcher. So I have all kinds of books around me, like The Life Writer, another novel I bought but never got into by David Constantine. Then you have Exiled in Paris, Richard Wright, James Baldwin, Samuel Beckett, and Other on the Left Bank by James Campbell. I always have dictionaries by me, the American Heritage Dictionary. I love dictionaries. Oh yeah, I was looking at this book by me by Mantel Suri, The Death of Vishu, a novel. It says Vishu, the odd job man in Bombay apartment block, lies dying on the staircase landing. Around him, the lives of the apartment dwellers unfold. The warring housewives on the first floor, lovesick teenagers on the second, and the widower alone and quietly grieving on the top floor of the building. In a fevered state, Vishu looks back on his love affair with the seductive Pamia and wonders if he might actually be if he might actually be the god Vishu, guardian of the entire universe, blending incisive comedy with Hindu mythology and the dash of Bollywood sparkle. The Death of Vishu is an intimate and compelling view of an unforgettable world. So, yeah. So I got all kinds of books around me. I brought down my portable CD player, and I brought down to listen to the new Tomb Mold CD, Planetary Clairvoyance. And then I have Vero, Flesh for the Funeral Eternal. This is the another Tomb Mold CD, Primordial Malignity. And this is the new Russian Circles Bloodier CD. So I got some music. So that's what I'm doing down here, listening to music, looking at my books, writing in my diary. I'm on page 817. It is going on 7:30 on September the 10th, 2019. Tomorrow morning, I have my teeth cleaned. That'll be exciting. I hate appointments. I just dread appointments. I just like having my calendar free of any kind of appointments, anything. I just like being free to daydream and write and read and wander among my books and wait for the second coming of Christ. So I hope you're having a good night. I just thought I'd show you books. This was my favorite books I read last year. The Dark Man's, a novel by Nicola Barker. I really enjoyed that. I also enjoyed reading last year Stanley Ecken, Mrs. Ted Bliss. What else? Oh, I was looking at Phoebe Hoban. This is a biography on the abstract painter Alice Neal, The Art of Sitting Pretty. I was looking at that. Just books everywhere. I got John D. McDonnell, a Travis McGee novel, Nightmare in Pink. I got The Invention of Science, A New History of the Scientific Revolution by David Woolton. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you books to show you a little glimpse, a little crack in the wall of my book world down here in the lower level, waiting it out. Existence keeps flowing. Hope you're having a good night. Until next time, bye. Well, I'll show you. Want to see the book nook again? See, it's just all kinds of books. You got books down here, books in here, books up there, books down here, just, this is the book nook. This is not the book nook, this is the lower level. I got my Bibles up there, Calvin's commentaries, all kinds of books. That's all history there. So, books down there. I got books in here. See, I got books in here. Books up here. Books up there. Books up there. Books down there. So yeah, I'll sign off. Hope you're all doing well. Until next time, bye.